Hey everyone, it's Tyler Bronski here. I'm joined by former Major Leaguer and current New Britain Bee, Greg Golson. Greg, thanks for taking a few minutes.
Hey, no problem, man. Anytime you need it.
Yeah. Now you're drafted out of high school as the 21st overall pick by the Philadelphia Phillies. Where in the draft were you expecting to fall at, and what was your reaction to the news getting drafted?
I really didn't know where I was going to go. I had an okay senior season, so I knew that the Phillies were interested, but when they called my name, it doesn't matter where you're expecting. It's always a great thing.
Yeah. Now you're a really speedy player, quick on the base pass. I know speed is kind of a natural thing, but I'm sure you've worked on your base running skills throughout your career. So what are some techniques you've done to help improve your base running as a player?
Just basically running. You gotta run to know what works good for you. What works for somebody might not work for you. So understanding what works for me and just studying pitchers. That's the best thing. You usually don't steal off the catcher. You usually steal off the pitcher.
Gotcha. Now you're called up by the Phillies in '08. What do you remember going through your head during your major league debut? Nervous, excitement? What was going through your head?
At the time, it was kind of surreal. Like I didn't really know because it happened so quick. It happened 4 years after I got drafted. And I really wasn't. I didn't really appreciate what I was going through. I look back on it and realize it was some of the funnest times of my life. That's why I'm still playing, trying to get back there. But when I first got called up, it was definitely something that I'll never forget.
Now the '08 Phillies, they won the World Series that year. You unfortunately weren't on the postseason roster, but I'm sure you got to witness some of the games. What was that like to be part of a World Series caliber team like the Phillies? And did you get a World Series ring for being a part of that team?
Yeah, I was actually on the reserve roster, so if someone got hurt, I would have been, called to play. But fortunately or unfortunately, no one got hurt, so I didn't get to play. But I did get a ring, and I carry it with me everywhere. It's one of the things I'm proud of.
Now, the following season, you were traded to the Texas Rangers. Spent most of the year at AAA with them and played in one game with them in the major leagues. Did you feel Texas should have given you a longer look in the major leagues?
I mean, I appreciate them, giving me the consideration. Growing up in Texas, the Rangers were a team that I always saw on TV. So, getting the nod from them was, accomplishment enough. Of course, I would have liked to play more, but I can't, blame anybody for what happened. When I got called up, it was because, Josh Hamilton got hurt. And then I think Michael Young tweaked his back, but he didn't go on the DL, so they needed an infielder. So it wasn't my opportunity.
Yeah. In 2010, you joined the New York Yankees, and you really had some success over there with them. I'm sure you agree one of your best plays was actually with the Yankees over in Tampa, where you threw out Carl Crawford from right field at third base to end the game. What do you remember going through your head when you picked up that ball and chucked it over to the third? Did you know you got him on the release?
No, not really. I didn't know I had him. I mean, I really was trying to, make a good enough throw to make it seem like he didn't catch me off guard. And luckily we were on turf, so we got a good hop, and the carry was perfect. It was all I know is when I threw it and they called him out, I realized what had happened, and I just kind of blacked out.
Yeah. In 2010, you got to be on the Yankees postseason roster. Back in the postseason, this time you got to play in the games. What was that like for you to play in that playoff atmosphere against Minnesota and Texas?
That was awesome. I mean, again, being in that situation with the Yankees, not many people, don the Yankee uniform, especially in the playoffs. So to be able to, for them to trust me enough to put me in that situation, and then to also play against the Rangers a year after, getting called up with them, that was something that was a little bit of an added motivation for me. But that whole process, from 2008 to 2010, where it's just a whirlwind.
You got to play with some Hall of Famers and guys like Derek Jeter, A-Rod, Mariano Rivera. How often did you actually interact with those guys while you were with the Yankees? And who would you say were some of your closest friends with New York?
On the team, and there's 25 guys. You can't help but interact with guys. So the thing that stood out the most to me was how personal everybody was, how easily to get along everybody was. These guys are Hall of Famers who got 10 to 20 years in the big leagues, and they're asking me if I want to go get lunch with them and stuff. So that's pretty cool. But I'd say the person I hung out with the most was Granderson. He actually lived with him when I was up in 2010 and a little bit of 11. So it was that was definitely some of the it was Granderson, Swisher, AJ Burnett, a bunch of the guys that were just really nice to me while I was up.
After the Yankees, bounced around organizations a little bit. and then you went to Mexico, and then the Atlantic League where you played with the Lancaster Barnstormers and now the New Britain Bees. Why did you choose to come to New Britain this year instead of going to a place you're maybe more familiar with Lancaster Barnstormers?
Just looking at it, there was an opportunity to start something new here. That's always something that's pretty cool when you go down as the first team, especially if you're able to win or do something that's special. So, that was something that was awesome. I remember playing here and how beautiful it was. And just, Stan was my manager in 2000, not manager, he was a hitting coach in 2014 at Lancaster. So knowing, having a comfortable relationship with him, that kind of helped as well.
5 questions for you. You're only 30 years old, but you've been away from the major leagues for 5 seasons now. What inspires you to keep playing at the professional baseball, even if it's in the independent leagues and not at the major league level?
Just knowing that I'm, the quality of ball player that I am, I can still play. Age really isn't anything but a number. I mean, somebody just made their debut, or for the Astros, I think his name is Hoyt. He made his debut the other day. He's 29. So me having been to the big leagues already at such a young age and learning all the things and developing to the rate that I have up to this point, I still think I can play in the big leagues. It's just a matter of time, for me to show that I can do that. Maybe someone will give me a chance.
Greg, appreciate it. All the best to you, and hope to see you back in the big leagues.
Appreciate